Good morning, beloved. My name is Ebenezer Okpadere. Today's Open Heavens, April 20, 2024 topic says your noon. Our Bible reading is taken from the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 9, while our memory verse is taken from the book of 2 Samuel chapter 5 verse 4, which says David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years. The main message: people in their noon are the ones we often call adults. You will notice that Jesus Christ started his ministry at the age of 30. John the Baptist, the greatest of the Old Testament prophets, Luke chapter 7 verse 28, also started around the same age. Samson, by the time he killed 1,000 people, was around 30 years of age. David, when he became king, was also about that age. Philip, when he was turning Samaria around for God, was also in the noon phase of his life. There is a saying, there is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune, neglected all the voyages of their lives, are bound in shallows and mysteries. The topic we are dealing with this morning says your noon. And this is the period, according to what our father said here. He said people in their noon are the ones who often call adults. This stage, you are already an adult. This stage, you are already an adult. Adults in the sense that this is stage, a session of flourishment. This is a session of flourishment. It's a session of fame. Jesus Christ started his ministry at the age of 30, meaning that they began to hear about him at that age. People have started hearing about his ministry at that age. It is a session that people will begin to, they will start knowing what you are into. It's a session of fame. So this is a period, it's a flourishment period. Now, let's move on. The noon time, when the flood comes, if you are a pastor around the time, there is hardly any sermon you will preach will not be appreciated. With very little effort, the church grows, but the flood does not last forever. If you miss that flood, you will get to a stage where it will not matter how well you preach, because people will say, we've heard this before. There is a word our father the Lord used here, flood. And what does this flood denote? In the journey of a man, there is always a certain time. There's always a certain time that things will begin to be at your favor. There's always a certain time that things will be at your own advantage. Be a certain time in man's journey, the journey of a man, that money will begin to flow into your direction. In the journey of a man, there's always a certain time that fame, you will carry fame. Ministry will begin to flourish. There's a certain time in the journey of a man that what other people are struggling for, you will get it at the platter of gold. There's also a certain time in the journey of man that will experience abundance. Our Father the Lord termed this as flood. It's a flood. What does flood means? We are talking about abundance. We are talking about flood, excess, abundance of things. Abundance of money. It could be abundance of money. It could be abundance of wealth. It could be abundance of property. It could be abundance of material things. Abundance, having something in abundance. That is the flood. So they say that at that time, you gain more respect from people. During those periods, you gain fame. During those periods, as a pastor, when you preach, your sermon will be well appreciated, because you are preaching and they are seeing the glory of that in your life. People will like to be identified with you because of what they saw. It's a flood period. Let's move on. The noon time is probably what God was referring to when he said in Isaiah chapter 60 verse 1-5, "Arise, shine, for your light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. For God is smiling on your effort. There are those who made good use of their flood, and as a result were able to keep going when the evening came. There was a young man whom God used to perform miracles, signs, and wonders. He prospered so mightily that he reserved a presidential suite in Sheraton Hotel permanently for himself. In those days, he was always traveling with 5 Mercedes-Benz cars. The number plate carried the name of the ministry, and each was tagged Ministry 1, Ministry 2, Ministry 3, and so on. After a while, however, the flood subsided. Money stopped flowing in, the cars disappeared, and the police began to look for him because of the money he was owing the hotel. You see, this is a serious one. Something must have happened for the flood of that minister to stop. Something must have happened when the flood is not well maintained, when the flood is not safeguarded, it will stop. He's a man of God, and all the cars he has carries unique plate number, and he didn't know that this thing that he's enjoying can stop at any time. Had it been new, he will have prepared for it. He will have made provision for that, so that what is enjoying will not stop. My prayer for us this morning, that whatever you are enjoying now will not stop in the name of Jesus. But there's a need for us to prepare for it. There's a need for us to maintain what we are enjoying now. There is a need for us to safeguard whatever God has given to us as an enjoyment. There's a need for us to safeguard it so that it will not stop. There's a need for us to safeguard the opportunity we are enjoying now, so that it will not stop. So the man of God did not know that the man of God did not know that this thing that is enjoying the fame, the growth in the ministry, relationship upon relationship, he did not know that something can happen at any time. Had it been new, he will have made provision for it. So the lesson that we are to gain from here is that whatever God has given to us as an opportunity, we must learn how to maintain it. We must learn how to make sure that it did not stop. Let's move on. Don't misuse the flood when it comes. Be wise to use your brightest moment, so when the brightness will remain even when the evening comes. Don't waste your resources. Don't mismanage your health and the relationship God sent your way. There are some of the things there are some of the things that will keep the brightness when the evening comes. Yes, we know that the fame doesn't last. We know that the flood doesn't last, but there is a way we can keep them to the latter. But there is a way we can sustain them. There is a way you can sustain your wealth. There is a way you can sustain your fame. There is a way you can sustain your money, your wealth, your riches. There is a way you can sustain the opportunity you are enjoying now, if only you will not waste it. If only we will not misuse the opportunity we are enjoying now. That is the only way that our flood can be sustained. My prayer for us this morning, that your flood will be sustained in the name of Jesus. Before I leave, I want to leave you with this key point written by our Father in the Lord, which says, spend your noon time wisely and don't mismanage it until I come on your way tomorrow. Remain blessed.